It's recording? Okay, I guess so. Hey y'all, so I am gonna do a part two to my story time that I was talking about last week. Eventually I'm working on that. I want to have my thoughts together when I do that because I want to speak from a place of truth and, like I said, transparency. So I want to be prepared when I come to you guys and I tell you guys that story. So in the meantime, I wanted to do, I'm on Psych Central on my phone, so that's another reason why I'm recording on my laptop. So I can use my phone to, go through and do this. Because I did tell you guys that I wanted to do a diagnosis test for autism because I do think that is a high possibility, thinking back on my childhood, that I may be autistic or be on the spectrum somehow. And people are quick to say, you're not autistic, you're being insensitive, but it's called a spectrum for a reason, which means that there's a wide variety of possibilities, endless possibilities that could classify you as being autistic or being on the spectrum. So, I don't know. I am working with people behind the scenes as far as counseling and therapy, things like that, to get better clarification of that. But just for content purposes, and I'm not saying that the results in my test are 100%, or it's just a basic self-diagnosis test online, y'all. I don't want to come off as being insensitive. I know autism spectrum and Asperger's is a sensitive subject for a lot of people. And I just want to keep in mind that I am never trying to be insensitive or anything like that when I talk about this with people. But I just really want to relate to possibly people out there who may have been dealing with these same type of symptoms, because it's so underdiagnosed, especially with melanated people. We never think that, this might be a possibility, or that this might be the reason why, your young child, your young son or daughter might be a little different. I don't say weird, different, okay? So, all right, I'm on a test on psychcentral.com. So I'll read some questions off of there, okay? We're just going to do a basic test. All right, now the answers are always going to be true both now and when younger, true only now, true only when younger, or never true. Those are all the four. It's multiple choice, so those are going to be all the four answers, y'all, okay? Okay, so the first one. Okay. It is difficult for me to understand how other people are feeling when we are talking. Let me see. I will say true both now and when I was younger, but because I'm 34 now and I've learned to, I'm a little better at it, I guess you would say, because I've been in situations and I'm able to pick up on situations a little bit better than I was when I was young. A lot of times with making friends, people would think I'm insensitive or that I didn't care. That's just not the case. It's just sometimes I don't pick up on those social cues as most people might, and most people will not tell you when they feel like you should have handled the situation differently. They'll just let you go ahead and handle it how you're handling it. And most people that'll put a bad taste in the mouths of most people, instead of people just realizing, hey, maybe she really didn't understand. And that's unfortunate, But I will say true both now and when I was younger. Okay, so some ordinary textures that do not bother others feel very offensive when they touch my skin. That is true now and when I was younger. I'm very sensitive to touch. I'm very sensitive to smell. When I was younger, I know all kids are afraid of needles and everything like that, but it was completely bad to the point where if I knew I was getting a shot, it would take two nurses and a doctor to hold me down as a kid just to give me a shot. I used to have a big fear of turtlenecks. I was scared of turtlenecks. I don't know what it was. I would cry about turtlenecks, just putting a turtleneck over my head. I had a big fear about turtlenecks. I'll notice sometimes if I don't really like a lot of tight clothing, restrictive clothing, I'll feel like something's wrong. Like I'll be in a bad mood for no reason, and I won't understand what's going on, like why I feel like I'm in a bad mood. But it won't be until I change or put something else on that I start to feel better. But I wouldn't realize that something was going on. Something as simple as changing my clothes, or because something is touching me the wrong way. So I will say that's true both now and when I was younger. It is very difficult for me to work and function in groups. Yes. But nursing has helped me with that 100%, because it has taught me about delegation and how to work teamwork and everything, and that has helped me with that a lot. Whereas before, being in school, it was hard for me, like working in teams and stuff. I'd rather just do stuff by myself. But pre-nursing and nursing does teach you teamwork and how to work with other people. So I will say true only when I was younger, okay? It is difficult to figure out what other people expect of me. Career-wise, no, because there's that understanding. As far as relationships and even sometimes being a mom, it's hard. I will say true only now, because I can't remember being faced with that dilemma when I was a kid. I'm not saying that it wasn't true, but I can't remember it. I just say now, as far as like relationships, and it comes off as being clingy and insecure, because I'm always asking, like, are you good? Do I need to do this? Should I do that? Are we good? But it's just because I can't put in the words. But it is hard to, you want to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing in a relationship, or in any type of, whether it's intimate relationship or not, as a sister, mother, daughter, you just want to make sure the people in your life that you care about are taken care of, and that you're doing the best you can by them, I often don't know how to act in social situations. True both now and when I was younger. It's either I often find myself in the extremes of both, because it's like, sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable. I often find myself in like the extreme of both, because it's like when I was a kid, either I was too withdrawn, or I was just doing my own thing or having fun, to the point where people were like, we don't do that like that, or we don't act like that. But my definition of fun and most people's definition of fun don't always see eye to eye. So, and even now I do have, it is, social situations are a little bit difficult for me. When it's organic, work related, I know what to do, or as far as how I'm supposed to handle situations. But just off top, just meeting new people, how I'm expected to, when I'm supposed to say something, when I'm supposed to talk, when I'm supposed to pause, when to interject, when to retract. It is difficult for me to figure out sometimes now. Yes. So I will put true to a certain extent, both now and when I was younger. I can chat and make small talk with people. True only now, because I have learned to mask. Masking is kind of like what people do when they've been in certain situations for extended amount of time, and you learn how to adapt. I can read a room most of the time now. I can come in a situation with a particular group of people, and I could kind of feel like how they're talking, how their body language, how they're moving, and then I kind of work off of that, if that makes sense, to the point where it's acceptable. I wasn't always able to do that, so I would often be withdrawn. Now, that's not always. There are some times when I do get into a new situation with a lot of people, and I do get withdrawn and nervous and anxious. But for the most part, with a handful of people, I can kind of read it and kind of know how to act, And it doesn't want to seem, it's not, people think of it as being fake and phony, and I don't like that, because it comes off as being negative when people think it makes me a fake person. But man, my intentions are always, most of the time, as much as I can do, my intentions are going to be genuine. I'm going to try to do right by most people. It's just what you guys, or most of you guys, are able to do naturally. It just takes a little bit more work for me for it to flow from me. It doesn't mean my intentions, like, say if I'm trying to meet new friends or make new friends, and I go about it like masking, or what you would consider being fake, it doesn't mean that I don't want those new friends. I'm just going about it the best way I know how, so it's not negative. It's hard to explain. When I feel overwhelmed by my senses, I have to isolate myself to shut them down. Yes, that is true. When I was younger, I loved small spaces. I would like to go underneath my bed, under the covers. I make little forts on the side of the house to be in small spaces. Even now, it's kind of embarrassing. When I'm feeling overwhelmed, when I'm feeling hurt or sensitive, I have a walk-in closet, so I will go in my closet with the light out, and I'll, if I want to cry, I'll cry in there. I'll just shut myself in my closet. Ooh, it just sounds so bad. But I go in my closet, and I have my own room, my own place. But I will go in my closet, shut the door, turn the light out, and I'll just have my emotional moment there, or I just feel how I feel, and my feelings there, and I'll release there. I don't know what that's from. Like I said, maybe because when I was a kid, I used to isolate myself and do that. So it's just like a big hug, because it's so tight and dark. I don't know. It's weird. No, it's not. I'm sorry, y'all. It's not weird. It's just different. It's different, okay? It's a different way of handling things. So that's me. So, true both now and when I was younger. How to make friends and socialize is a mystery to me. True only when I was younger, because like I said, now I'm able to read a situation and see people's body language. I listen to the tone in their voice and see how they move, how they react to each other. If I come in, I see some ladies talking, like, yeah, girl, girl, we know. I can jump right on that and be like, boo, yeah, girl, shoo. What? Because I learned how to do that, but I didn't always know how to do that. So when I was young, I didn't have a lot of friends because people thought I acted socially, quote unquote, weird or different. But now I'm able to. But I will say this, even though I am able to mask, as you would say, or be socially appropriate, that is very exhausting to hold that for an extended amount of time, to the point where when I'm done for the day or when I'm home, I'm exhausted and I'll get headaches and I'll get tired. That is hard to do. So I'll say true only when younger. When talking to someone, I have a hard time telling when it's my turn to talk or listen. True, both now and when I was younger. And I already said that. It's hard for me to decide. Like, if I'm in a conversation with somebody, it's hard for me to decide when to say something, or when's the right time for me to say something, or when I should not say anything at all. And then when the conversation's over, I'll be like, dang, man, I shouldn't have said that, or I should have waited, or why was I so bold? Or, I have a hard time deciding when it's my turn to talk. Excuse me, y'all. Or when it's my turn to listen. That's 100% true. 100% true. That is difficult for me to do. Sorry, y'all. Try to get comfortable. Okay. So, let's see what else. Sometimes I have to cover my ears to block out painful noises, like vacuum cleaners or people talking too much or too loudly. I don't cover my ears, but it does irritate me and stress me out. I don't like a lot of specific noise. I have a hard time dealing with it when I'm asleep. When I'm trying to eat, for me to get good sleep, I have to have like white noise for a fan, but too much noise, too much chitter chatter, too much music, too much of the wrong music, it will stress me out and I won't be able to get comfortable enough to adapt. So I will say never true, because I never really like literally covered my ears and did that, and I don't like I have tried, let me see, I'll say true only now, only because I have tried earplugs, but I don't like them because they give me headaches. So, yeah. So, I'll say true only now. It can be very hard to read someone's face, hand, and body movements when we are talking. True only when I was younger. Like I said, now I'm able a little bit more better to pick up on the flow of the conversation. Not always, but for the most part I can kind of chime in a little bit and get on that same train. Most times, not always. So I'll say true only when younger. I focus on details rather than the overall idea. That's true. And I'll say true both now and when I was younger. And sorry, I got somebody's calling me. But I focus on details rather than the overall idea. And yes, and that is true. I'm losing my train of thought because I'm trying to wait for this number to go because I'm doing a video. So, and I'm working on that because I think that's important. But I think a lot of us do that. We don't see the bigger picture. We just see the here and now. We lack that patience. I think a lot of people do that. So I think that's a general problem that people have. It's just not, seeing the bigger picture. So I will say true. I take things too literally, so I often miss what people are trying to say. True only when I was younger. Actually, that could be true when I was now and younger, because I do have times when I'm talking to somebody and they want me to tell them something, and I tell them something and that's what they expect, but then they act different and I don't know why. There have been a lot of situations where I've had relationships and friendships and I've said the wrong thing, or what I thought I was supposed to say, or what they wanted me to do, but that was the wrong thing to do. And I found out later, because they started acting different. And I have, my dad and my friends, and I'll be like, hey, such and such is acting differently with me ever since our conversation. And they might tell me, well, you shouldn't have did this or you shouldn't have said that. And I didn't know until I got an outside opinion, so I will say true. I get extremely upset when the way I like to do things is suddenly changed. True both now when I was young. I don't get extremely upset. True when I was younger. I mean now, because, you have to adapt when you're a nurse. You have to. It's annoying, but, you still got to adapt. So nursing helped me a lot, man. It taught me a lot as far as just the nursing process and how to handle situations. It taught me a lot. So, but as a kid, I did used to get upset. I would get mad. I had some other things. Like, I would roll these, I would call them fuzz balls. And I think I told y'all about them before. My mom would get these blankets for me. and I would always mess up blankets. Even now, to the point I have to sleep with a sheet and a comforter, because when I got these soft blankets, I would pick at them and pick holes at them, and I would rub these little fur balls, these little fuzz balls between my fingers all day, and my floor would be covered in them, and the blanket would be demolished. And it got to the point, it got so bad that my mom would not buy me anymore. She wouldn't buy me anymore. She wouldn't buy me any blankets. So now, and even to this day, 34 years old, if I have a blanket or if I have some type of material that I can pick off of and roll, I'll do it. So I have to do a socially acceptable and use only a comforter and a sheet, so I won't do that because I'll mess up blankets. I'll still do that. And even when I was a kid, I've always loved animals. Like, I had dogs and cats. I would always I'm big on senses. I would always like smell their nose and smell them and put my nose behind their ear, and I would cuddle with them. Just little weird things. I don't know. I mean, it's not weird. I'm sorry. Different things that people usually don't do, and I still do to this day. So, okay, y'all, let's check the results. Okay, it says possible autism spectrum disorder. I got a 31 out of 42. So it says possible. 34 plus will be autism like. So it says I might possibly have a little situation. And like I said, I am working with other people about this, as far as like therapists and counselors and things like that. So, because it could be something else. I don't know. Somebody did tell me that I might have social prag. And social prag is kind of like where you have a hard time when you speak to people, deciding what to say or when to say it, and your words get all jumbled up just because of anxiety of being around new people. So that's I have been told I might just have social prag. I just, like I said, the behaviors that I remember as a child that other people didn't really have, it just made me wonder. So that's pretty much it, y'all. Like I said, I will be trying to come out with another video by next week about my story time. But it will be coming story time 2 for those of you who did enjoy story time 1. So it will be coming soon. But yeah. So I hope you guys have a blessed day. Be safe out there. Always remember to prioritize those who prioritize you. I love you guys. Be safe. And thank you for coming to watch my video, alright? Have a good night, y'all.